Indeed, greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you so much for joining me again on another video. I always appreciate your presence. If you enjoy what it is we're doing here, consider liking the video, consider subscribing, and do leave a comment on the video. I try and answer every single one of them. Or don't! It's completely up to you, my friend. Let's melt more into being. I added some grapefruit juice to my water today. So, hi Kids. I don't know if it's going to be any good. And if anything, it's going to be a little bit more bitter than it used to be. Hi Kitty Kit. Hallo. Vertel van mij. Asked him some. My cat's having a chat. Doesn't taste like much, but it has some flavor to it. I want to start the stream off on a good note though. I'm gonna say something, that is worth saying. At least in my personal opinion, these things are worth saying. And when I say something is worth saying, it's usually like a thing that you can say that can stand on its own, You say that thing and you feel what it makes you feel like. You don't necessarily have to add anything to it, but we need to live for love to be extended. We need to live for love to be extended. Ooh, here is one that's surrounded. So usually the surrounded ones are really good. So yeah, I remember actually, this one is like a little bit of an exercise that you can do. It basically encourages you to call a random number, be it in a phone book. I don't know if I've ever used a phone book in my life, but the example they use is to use a phone book. And you just go down all of the numbers and you call one of them. And I am talking about the wrong story right now. Actually, I just realized the story I was talking about, I started reading a little bit and I realized it wasn't the same story. The story that I was talking about is basically you call a random person and you tell them the truth that is true always. That they are loved, loving, lovable. They are loved, loving, and lovable forever and for always. And that they have never sinned, they have never done anything wrong, they've never become the thing that they thought of themselves to be. And this is something I've been practicing more and more as well. Is this understanding that we're not the things we do sometimes, People, for an example, people play games, they label themselves as gamers. People smoke weed, they label themselves as stoners. People follow a spiritual path, they label themselves as, spiritual beings. But at the end of the day, we're so much more than the labels we could possibly apply to ourselves in this physical plane of existence. So yeah, that's the gist of what you want to tell people, right? It's a little bit difficult, but I'm trying to. This is what I want to read, however, is a way of answering people when they ask you, who are you? And it says, answer this. I am the expression of love and form. I have never been born, and I will never taste death. I am infinite and eternal. I shine forth as a sunbeam to the sun. I am the effect of God's love, and I stand before you to love you. Damn. Hey, Aaron, hey, Toasty. Yeah, dude, 100%. No boxes. No boxing ourselves in. Because for us to, and this is something I really like to think about, I sometimes convince myself I know what I'm talking about. Have some sort of idea that I understand, that I know isn't, usually understood. And you can start telling yourself that look, I have this understanding of this idea. It means must be advanced or whatever. But if you were to be taken by a super advanced civilization, shown different dimensions, where none of the things that we have in this plane of existence even exist, our math falls apart, our science falls apart, our chemistry, our understanding of our own brains even fall apart. How do you know anything in a space like that? I mean, looking around just right now, the amount of infinitude we have just in our immediate surroundings. I don't know how to grow a tree, right? I do understand that it comes from a seed and it needs water, and it turns that water with the help of sunshine into sugars. But I don't know how to do any of that, not personally. And yet it's done. It is done. And there's so much intelligence that goes into it as well. And it's to that intelligence that I give all of the honor, none to myself, if you will. I'm looking for my grinder head. Man, like, you would think I would have a hard time misplacing things because I'm sitting down. But little did you know, I'm an expert misplacer of things. I can't find it. Where did I put it? Where did I put it, dude? Did it roll off? Is it underneath me? Is it on top of me? There it is. I found it. Do you go places when you smoke that? You don't go anywhere, my friend. You don't go anywhere. There's nowhere to go at the end of the day, right? It's only here and now. And this here and now permeates throughout all existence. Truly yours, hey Melchi says, showing you love and sending you good vibes, my friend. Pristine vibes indeed. Thank you, truly. I appreciate your vibes. Hey Knight, I appreciate you being here as well. And hey Edmund, thank you for joining us, my friend. Hey buddy, hope you're well. I am well. How about you? How about you, Knight? How are you feeling, my friend? How's life been treating you, dude? Man, I've been confronted with so much information as of late. Yeah, just a lot of information. Today, I spent some time meditating again, and it was the weirdest thing because I felt, my meditation coming to an end, and I started counting down, and as I hit 0, my alarm went off, and it was one of those moments where you basically trip yourself out, because I knew what I was doing, and I was the one doing it to myself, and yet when it happens, so that you you do something that you tried to do but you didn't think it would happen, you can really create for yourself a sense of awe, even in something that you do for yourself, something that is completely normal, completely uninteresting. That's the thing of dreams as well. It's so hard to explain your dreams to someone, or at least explain it to someone in such a way that they're interested. Like last night I had this dream where I was back in the hostel at school, and I was like super tired, and I walked into one of my friends' rooms, and I asked him if he has an energy drink, and he's like, yeah, I have an energy drink, and he like takes this energy drink out of his bag, and I trade him a pen for the energy drink. And in my dream, it was so real, it was so in my face, I understood what I was going through. And I came back from the dream, and a friend sent me a message. Have I recently, or have I since finishing high school, had flashbacks or times where I was like thinking about it or stuff like that? And it just so happened that I literally just went through something like that. I wonder what that is, where we go back in our pasts, experiencing things, because I think of dreams as like this training simulator almost. We dream so that we can function in our waking lives. Basically prepares us for situations that we might not foresee normally. But I don't see myself going and asking for an energy drink from my friend in the hostel again. So what am I supposed to take away from that? Is there something to be taken away from it? Should I want to take something away from it? Or is that a need that I put forward by myself for some reason? Maybe it's some sort of egoic want to try and find some sort of meaning in my dreams. I'm getting down rabbit holes. Knight says, I'm okay. I took a day off work today just because it feels good. I'm glad to hear you're good. I'm good. Thank you, my friend. I'm happy that you get to have like a little bit of a chilly, happy day, my friend. I hope that it treats you well and that you get all of the rest that you need. Hi, happy day. Happy day to you as well, Dwarf. I appreciate you joining us, my friend. Yes, low key, this dude is a douchebag. Okay. if you feel so, my friend. I still love you though. ABCDEFG123RT. I love you still, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing this space with us. I do want to set an intention because I've crushed my butt. I have my little Garrick here in front of me, and I want to write a message or an intention directly on top of this piece of paper. I think I want to do it for our ABC friend, actually. Maybe the intention will be patience, right? Because I feel with patience, we can really give ourselves some time to get to know a person. This is something I've recently learned. Like the thing with like live streams as well, is it's like long form factor content. So a person is like streaming for, 40 to an hour and a half, 40 minutes to an hour and a half, and someone can tune in and spend a little bit of time, but it takes like a solid 10, 15, 20 minutes to actually get a feel for how someone is, how they carry themselves, all of these sort of things. And I want you to stay, my friends, so I'm going to smoke a joint, not only for you but for myself as well, in the spirit of patience. So, patience, my friends. Patience. Like, patience in itself is this like paradoxical thing, because by saying you're going to be patient, it's basically this admittance that there is lack within your current circumstances. At least that's one way to think of it. But we can be so impatient sometimes. We want things to happen right now. And we not only want things to happen right now, but we also want things to happen in a very specific way. Otherwise, we're not happy with the way that things are happening right now. And we get so in our own ways, in this like understanding of life, in this conditional existence that we set forth, that we take so much from our lived experience by almost like keeping these little blinders on, looking to that one thing, missing everything that you're walking past while you're going there, and losing all of the beauty that you're surrounded by. My guess is your brain just putting memories and thoughts together as you sleep. Like, that's one thing that it does as well, but your brain is also like going through like almost like a chemical wash when you're sleeping. It like does this chemical wash, so your brain is like cleaned of all of the BS that you basically accumulate. Your brain cells firing and the spending of neurochemicals basically leaves it in a little bit of a lost state, toxic state. So your brain sleeps so that it can wash away all of that excess, chemicals or spent chemicals. At least that's how I understand it. Did I miss a few? I think I did. Not too much. Why the decision to start smoking on stream again? So, the decision, and thank you for asking me, Golden Drunk, it's been forever since I've seen you, my friend. The decision basically arose. So, my initial decision to stop smoking on stream completely, and I've not been smoking on every single stream, but I do kind of allow myself to feel into the moment and then do as I please or as I feel is appropriate. But when I started on this account, this u/Meltmore account, I started initially because my old account stopped working, and I didn't do anything against rules or regulations, but I was smoking on stream. So I kind of, used the information I had at hand, and I decided or kind of thought that the reason they stopped allowing me to stream was because I was smoking on stream. And it was more important to me to continue streaming to you friends, because we've made a commitment to be here with one another. I've made a commitment to be here with you. That is, it was more important to me to be able to stream than it was to be able to smoke on stream. So I stopped out of, respect for the stream. And then I had a conversation with Dora Diamond, who is officially the head moderator for all of ARPAN. And I asked her directly if it was okay for streamers to smoke on stream. And she said yes. And with her saying yes, it gave me enough relief and, enough understanding that I'm allowed to do this. Like, that's not why my stream stopped working, and I'm allowed to do this. And, smoking bud, to me, it's almost like a process, a little bit of a ritual, if you will, as well. The act of rolling it, the act of preparing it, the setting of intentions, the sharing of the experience with you friends as well, if you choose to smoke with me. This is it's a practice of love, nonetheless. It's a practice of love for myself, love for you friends, love for this moment, love for my earth, love for a plant chemical, love for this platform. Just love, my friends. I'm drinking water today. If it's patience for smoking, what goes well with patience? Patience and awareness, I think. If you can be patient and aware while you're patient, you'll see just how much beauty life has to hold. So every sip I'll take, I'm taking for awareness. And every puff I'll take will be for patience. There we go. Just like that, a joint has been rolled. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I love you, dude. You're loved. Know that. Reddit trolls are mean little shits, and they try and ruin people's day. I mean, why not just get a life? I don't mind them, actually. The Reddit trolls are just, beautiful human beings in their own. And their want or need or think those two are okay to troll is a divine expression of their own, because they're experiencing the same I and they're choosing to use that I to troll. So I don't think of it as something that's negative. I just think of it as something that is an experience, right? If you're saying something, against other people, then it's something I'm gonna not tolerate. But if you want to say something to me and it helps you get it out, please do, my friends. Say whatever it is you want to say to me, because my answer to you is going to be that I love you, my friend. I love you. A hurtful comment at the end of the day is just a reflection of someone that is hurt, not necessarily a reflection of the person that is being hurt or trying to be hurt, right? That's something you have to remember, my friends, is that you're never getting trolled because you did something wrong, or you're bad, or you're evil, or anything like that. You're being trolled because there is someone noticing, seeing something within you that they either don't approve of because they fear it within themselves, or they judge it in such a way because they feel they have, some sort of superiority over it. But it's still a judgment, and a judgment hurts the judger more than it does the judged, because it's your mind. If you judge someone, you're holding that image in your mind, and you're creating an energy, a field within inside of yourself that is one of turmoil. It's not one I like to practice myself. And this, friends, like when you're in judgment of someone else and you're like feeling hateful towards them, and you're like, imagining you're gonna say this thing, or you're like hateful of them in the way that you can't stand being in a room with them, or hateful in a way where you can't stand seeing their name on a group message thing. Like, that is like you're creating that for yourself, right? That feeling, that distrust, that disdain, that resentment, and it hurts you. It always hurts you. It doesn't hurt the other person. So why do it in any way, But if you want to do it, it is going to be an experience in its own. And we're not to say what experience is good or bad. We're just allowed to experience them. We get to choose our experiences as well a lot of the time. And the experiences we choose for ourselves almost result in the furthering of experience that we will receive as well. Good day, Melt and Melt fam. I will catch the stream later on the YouTubes. Love you all. Oh, thank you, Justin. Like, if you're checking in on the YouTube right now, I love you, my friend. If you're still here, I love you just as much, but right now. If you're watching on the YouTube, I love you in the future. Yes, still right now, actually, but yes. Brandon says, hello, just joined the live. How's everyone's day going? My day is going well, my friend. How about yours? Nah. They're just people who lack understanding of healthy emotional outlets. Yeah, like again, it's still just a reflection, you know. They're seeing something that they're jealous of, disapprove of, in judgment of, and then instead of, you know, recognizing that they have the capacity to do the same, they try and break it down instead, or, you know, they are broken, and then they try to break others as a result. But it's never like the response should never be one of hate, never should be one of defense, never should be one of, you know, anger, but one of love and compassion for that person as well. At least that's the way I feel about it. Why am I watching this? You're here for a reason, my friend. Think about it, dude. This is something I said yesterday as well, and I'll say it again. Like, for you to be here where you are right now is so unlikely. Think about it, friends. Like, we literally are in such a small sliver of time in the grand scale of our Earth, in such a small sliver of time on the grand scale of our universe, and we live such short lives as human beings. We all have our own likes and dislikes, and we do things because of these likes and dislikes. And one of our likes just happened to be Reddit, and we happen to, me streaming and you tuning into streams, and we happen to find each other here. Like, there's so many coincidences that makes the percentage of us finding each other so small, so minuscule, and yet here you are, my friends. Why? Ask yourself why. Is it to learn something? Is it to feel something? Is it to gain some sort of understanding? I don't think that's what's important, though. I think the experience in itself is what's actually important, you know, the being there for it at the end of the day. I guess I'm to your something ABC. I'm smoking pot now. I hope you enjoyed, my friend. Patience is a fundamental to being a beacon of light and love in the world, I believe. I think so as well. I do think so, Edmund. Because if you can't, you know, respect yourself in a moment, to be patient with your own thoughts, with things you want to say, stuff like that as well. And this is something I've noticed a lot. Being patient with your turn to speak, or being patient with the things you want to say, because sometimes you'll be inspired to say something when someone is talking to you, and you'll, like, you know, go ahead and say the thing you want to say, but it can, like, basically break the flow for that other person. So being patient in that way is the way that I'm trying to learn patience as well right now. Lol, you can't even spell it, ABC. No hate towards ABC, only love, my friend. I never smoked, never do, my friend. If you've never smoked, never do. I think, like, I want to stop smoking as well, but I'll stop smoking joints as soon as I get a vaporizer. The nice thing about these joints for me as well is that it's it's a process of rolling. Like, I sat down here with some plant material in a solid form, with some papers, with a piece of cardboard, and I created this. And on that note, I'm going to light this as well. To patience, my friends. To being patient with ourselves, with our loved ones, with our world as well. And to understand that things are, you know, heading in a good trajectory. Things are heading for a good trajectory. I believe so, at least. Damn. One side of the paper caught more than the rest. To patience, my friends. Woo! My eyes are watering already. At least for me. Everything begins with practice. For where you can learn to love and be truly happy, and then spread that around you. I feel that, Edmund. Like, again, nothing in this world is going to bring you happiness, right? We've been taught that our entire lives. You know, physical possessions, families, status, a certain amount of money. We believe these things will bring us happiness. And you can ask all of these people who've had these things, all the status in the world, all the money in the world, all the things in the world, best family in the world. They'll all tell you that those things in themselves didn't bring any happiness. Like there's a real disconnect between what people think will bring them happiness and what actually brings them happiness. And I can't tell you what brings you happiness, my friends, because if I tried to, I'd be doing the exact same thing, right? I do, however, believe for myself that happiness is something that you almost lean into. Like it's a perspective thing, where the reason we like have this understanding that money, family, a beautiful house, a status is going to bring us happiness is because we constantly compare ourselves to our past events. And because happiness is a state of mind technically, and a state of mind necessarily with one in regards to perspective, we do this thing where we continue to basically improve our perspectives of things. We buy ourselves a car, and now we are looking at a better car. And in that moment, in that perspective, we have the old car in our minds and the new car in our minds. And because of that transition in perspective, we feel that happiness, right? And we feel happy because we have bought this car. And then 10 weeks passed, and the car now again is just a car. It gets you from point A to point B. The same thing for your house, same thing for your money, same thing for your status. These things bring temporary happiness because we have an immediate change of perspective from where it was, not having the money to having the money, not having the car to having the car, or having a worse car to having a better car, or having no family to having a family. We swap in perspective, and then because of that swap in perspective, we convince ourselves that thing is what brought the happiness, instead of realizing it's the perspective difference that is bringing us that happiness. And the cool thing about the human mind is we get to do that right here in this moment. We can create for ourselves perspectives without having to add anything to our consciousnesses. So, like, in a way that I do this is just to realize how much we have to be grateful for. And I know you've heard this 1,000 times before, and I'll say it 1,000 times more. Just understanding how much we have to be grateful for, our senses. Just think of your senses alone, being able to touch things and smell things and taste things and see things and hear things, being able to have conversations with other people, being able to pet a dog, being able to, go skydiving. What the hell is that, dude? Like, we literally fly up into our atmosphere and then jump back to the surface of our planet as these tiny minuscule beings. Like, we get to do these things. It's something that is, out there for us to do. There's so much to experience. And it's just about, realizing that perspective of, instead of nothing, there is something. And that's something, regardless of what it is, regardless if we have, personal turmoil, regardless if we have people pass away in our lives. I'm not saying these things, are null and void, they don't exist. I know they hurt. I've been hurt by them myself, but they don't take away from the beauty, from the wonderful aspect that we have of life, that we have to appreciate, if you will. At least that's how I feel about it. Is that weed? Yes, it is, my friend. Do you have a method or an approach? What is this dude doing? Had a fly in my hair, or answering a philosophical question. My friend, like Edmund sent a philosophical, bit of information, an opinion, I would say, not really a question. And based on the information he gave me, he inspired me to create Divinely as well for you friends. So I don't really have a method or an approach. I just kind of, let it flow. if you will. Food, perseverance and patience also go very well. That is true. I feel I have more perseverance than I have patience sometimes. Patience is always good, followed by munchies. If you don't have any food anymore, you'll have to wait until tomorrow. Cucumber is the best munchies, I think. I love cucumber. I also love cucumber. Yeah, like cucumber is actually pretty nice. It's, kind of bland, but like if you're thirsty, for example, and you're also kind of peckish, like cutting yourself up some cold cucumber is like a little bit of a vibe, I should say. Crunchy and wet. Yeah, exactly. It's crunchy and wet. So it's ice. It's almost like ice, but it's a little bit softer than ice. Then why does it feel so momentous? I don't know, my friend. Why does anything feel momentous? I feel, again, it's a perspective. That's at least my opinion on it, right? Like something is momentous because, in comparison to the things we have experienced, it has this significance in that perspective, in that moment. We convince ourselves that we can't have those things again, or that we've peaked, or that we've experienced everything. Naive human beings. Thank you for the silver, my friend. Best munchies then. My favorite munchie food is kiwis, and I recently started eating the kiwis with the skins, like a mad lad. I eat kiwis like strawberries now. I don't know what changed. I always used to be the type to cut the kiwi in half and then spoon the fruit out. Maybe I went more monkey, just eat the whole kiwis, put them in my face. It's all opinion, but I do the sweets and junk food. Yeah, sweets and junk food have their place as well. They're just not sustainable, in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa. Thor is getting baked, I see. I guess so. Hey peeps, how are you, Dan? I'm good as well, my friend. How about you? Mm. Do you consider yourself a modern day Oedipus? Like I feel just because I can't read that word, I can 100% not consider myself a modern day anything. I'm a modern day human, if I'm anything, my friend. I grew up with technology. I grew up with exposure to what's happening in the world. I grew up with exposure to a lot of other stuff as well. And I am in the where that I am right now. I don't have to say anything else about it. Hey Dan, hey Edmund, how are you? There we go. Thank you for the silver, Dan. I appreciate it. Cucumbers bring me happiness. Anything can bring you happiness, really. If you had nothing, right? Like think about it. If you were floating in the empty void of space, you would be grateful for quite literally anything to hold in your hand, be it a cucumber, be it a handful of sand. If I had nothing to interact with and suddenly I had a handful of sand, I'd be like sick. I can count all of these sand pieces, you know, because I have something to do in this empty void of space. If you could also survive in the empty void of space, that is. Dum dum. Mm, only you can bring yourself. Oh, sorry. Reddit gave me a free silver. Had to save it for the stream. Oh, thank you for saving it, Dan. I appreciate it. Only you can bring yourself happiness. It comes from within, and you need to discover it for yourself. I agree. I agree, Edmund. We do get to share how we have, visualized or found some sort of understanding about our personal happiness. And I think in sharing these ideas, like in having, at least this in my personal opinion, I've seen this happen to me. Like listening to the ideas of my friends, I reevaluate the way I feel about things and how I understand things, how I what my frame of reference is, right? And I'm very honest with myself, very open. I kind of call myself out on my own BS sometimes. And I try and listen to the things I say as well. You know, like I'm aware. I know my intention of these streams is not to preach about anything. My intention is just to, share active consciousness. Because for a lot of the time, I'm trying to like solidify, consolidate an understanding for myself as well. Fucking listen to yourself, dude. Listen to yourself sometimes as well. My wife said she just saw your aura, bro. The golden yellow. Whew. Yeah. Golden yellow, purple and green. My mom and brother is back. Me and my brother just did the, okay, I see you thing. There's no options in life with no money. And yeah, when you have money, it gives you more options to happiness, whether it feeds your child or buying a car. Currency runs humans. That's the problem, my friend. Like these currency, money do buy these things, right? It's true. Money buys you food, buys you a place to live. I understand that, but it wasn't always like that. You do understand that, right? There was a point at which humans lived without currency, and we didn't have to pay to build a house somewhere. We could just do that, and we could live off the land. That's how humans used to live. And then we gamified life, and we basically turned it into this exploitative system in which humans have to give their lives. Like, think about how important this is, my friends. Like, how important our ability to experiences, how important our time with our families are, how important it is to be able to cook yourself a good meal, how important it is to exercise, how important it is to, practice your hobbies, how important it is to learn new things. And in a normal day, after you've worked, there's just so much time you have left to actually live your life. And I believe human beings want to work, right? We want to do things. Like we all have had those times where we sit and do nothing for an extended period of time, and then we get up and we do something. Like there's a point at which we get satiated with even that. And there are people that will take advantage of a system in which basic needs are taken care of. But I believe if we can provide a world for people where they have a place to live, they have food to eat, and then you create for them opportunities to learn new skills, to follow passions, to try new things, not because they need to make a living off of it, but because they want to do it. They want to, study science. They want to make beautiful works of art. They want to make music or whatever it is they want to do, regardless if it, brings value to what people assume to be value, because we have such a judgment of artistic people, because you're never going to make a living out of being an artist. But every single day when we aren't working, the number one thing that we consume is art, right? Memes, art. YouTube videos, form of art. Music, art. Movies, art. TV shows, art. Literally, all of it's artistic expression. It's literally the thing that we're almost the best at as human beings, and the thing that we like to see the most. We like aesthetics, we like beauty, we like having these things in our lives. And we judge the ones that have that as a vision. Yeah. And then race makes currency more than resources. That's the real word. Yeah, you're right, my friend. But money doesn't bring true happiness. You can buy things and it will make you temporarily happy, but in the end, none of it will last or matter much. True happiness cannot be bought. Exactly, my friend. Hey, Dyson, the monkey man. Hmm? Dude, like, you know what the big thing is, Dyson? The reason I don't see myself getting a monkey, if you get yourself like a capuchin monkey, you have a child for 60 years, dude. They can live that long. 60 years. You're taking care of something. So if I get a monkey now, I'm only going to be able to, be free in the case where I don't have to give my monkey to care when I want to, go places. When I'm in my 80s, dude. Can't do that. Not right now. I would wanna, if I have a monkey, give my monkey as much love as possible. And I don't rightly think I could do that in this life. I'm doing great, Edmund. Negotiated a new salary yesterday. And I'm looking forward to moving to New York City now. I can start to make solidified plans. Dan, dude, moving to New York City. Are you looking forward to that, dude? I've heard a lot about New York City, dude. How much have you heard? How much of it do you believe? How much of it do you experience yourself? How do you feel about it, my friend? I'm really curious about that. Dude, that's awesome, Dan. Good for you. I love New York City. I'm so excited for you. Same, dude. Absolutely same. Hey, worldly assumptions. Says Amigo. Hey, Amigo. Need some positivity in my life today. Glad I stopped by. Glad you stopped by as well, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for sharing some of your presence with us. Positivity. Positivity. You know, the ability to transmute negativity into positivity. There's a belief that we are capable of that mentally. It's just a muscle you have to train, apparently. And even the strongest of, people take rest days as well. Calm down. Yeah. Ooh. I'm confronting some stuff with myself. Why do you think people choose money over other meaningful things? Because they understand it, my friend. Money is something that is relatively simple to understand, right? We have this tendency, like if you want something really bad, let's say I want for example a very beautiful piece of rock. Let's say I want an opal, right? Opals are expensive. And let's say I want a beautiful opal that's like $10,000. That's an expensive opal. Now I hear that someone spent $100,000 on a new car or whatever, and then I could like visualize, man, I could buy 10 opals for that price, and it's something that we can quantify because we think like, oh man, if I want this one opal this much, right, then it's gonna bring me so much happiness if I get this opal. Just imagine how much happiness 10 opals is gonna bring me. We try and extrapolate like that because it's quantifiable, right? We can do the math on that. But you can't do the math on the exponential feelings you're going to get from things, or the diminishing, exponentially diminishing feelings you get from things. If you continue buying $10,000 opals, there's going to be a point that you're like, I have enough. $10,000 opals. You understand the point I'm trying to make? So the problem is people don't realize that, switching the things that they buy themselves, instead of just buying $10,000 opals, they buy this little thing and then that little thing and this little thing and this little thing, and this thing's gonna make them happy and that thing's gonna make them happy, and it's quantifiable. They know, ooh, I'm getting cold. Ooh, they know that they have X amount of currency, and X amount of currency can buy X amount of things. And then they think that, okay, so I have amount of happiness right now because X amount of things. So if I get more X amount of currency, I'll be able to have more happiness. Not how it works. It's not how it works, my friends. Unfortunately, it would be very nice if it just, worked apples to apples like that, but it doesn't. Oh, man. I'm just thinking back to all of the stupid stuff I've done just to survive, literally. Man. Why do you think? Oh, I've already read that one. Money is not the source of happiness. Absolutely not, Lee. You're right. True happiness comes from within and has nothing to do with external acquisitions like money, house, car, partner, etc. Plenty of people have all that stuff and are miserable. Exactly. You're like literally saying exactly what I said as well, Lee. I couldn't agree more, my friend. Just lost my father in the last few weeks, and I've buried both my parents. Time with loved ones is priceless. It absolutely is. Worldly assumptions. You're so right, my friend. like you realize it with the passing of the loved one. You know, the part that hurts me the most about the passing of my grandfather is the fact that I don't have, a whole memory full of fond memories I've shared with him. Like a few, literally like less, like I can name them on my two hands, for example, like not hundreds. Uh, and like I never want to live in judgment of myself, of the way I've lived my life, of the things I've chosen to do. Uh, you know, we've in our life probably only seen each other like 50, maybe 60 times as well. So it's understandable that we don't have that many, like, fun, good memories of each other. And when we spend time together, it was usually in a, family situation. There's never a situation where me and my grandfather actually just one on one had a conversation or, spent time alone with each other. And yeah, like that's the part that bothers me actually. Not so much I understand, he's passed, but I also understand that there is no, separating us from, divine source, the universe, if you will. He's still, the memories I have of him is still with me. The impact he's had in the world is still impacted, if you will. And he will live on, I believe, in soul as well. But you realize, as you said, how valuable the time you have with your loved ones is, and it kind of like gives you a new perspective on how you're going to continue, how you're going to treat the people you have in your life right now. And in the exactly, Lee says, Edmund, in the end, that will all what will all that bring you? The happiness within and the memories you make and such are are all that will truly matter. You're very right, Edmund. Very, very much so, dude. My condolences. I hope you're holding up okay. Sending lots and lots of love. Absolutely. We're sending you love, worldly assumptions. Thank you for sharing that with us, my friend, because here you have people that will legitimately send you love and think about you. Thank you, Knight. Doing my best. Trying to be strong for my husband and son. You are strong, my friend. You are strong. Rooibos is lekker. Yeah. I lived in New York City for 2 years in the past, so it's kind of homecoming for me. Okay, that's nice. That's nice, Dan. Yeah, I feel that then, my friend. Very cool, Dan. We're in New York City. Don't get a monkey. I'm not getting a monkey, my friend. Definitely not. Get to the Cloud District often? No, not so much. People pursue money because media, entertainment, and social media teaches that it's a source of all value and the key to being respected. Yeah, it's an enormous lie. Absolutely, my friend. Yeah. And do I have air in my mouth? Maybe I did. It doesn't. Nothing will. Nothing will. And with realizing that, like, this is something I really confronted within myself in China, actually. Because, and I've told this story before, but I like thinking about things, uh, you know, often. Because I almost come with a new perspective every time. Like, everything I've learned from my current experiences forms almost a lens through which I can view my past experiences. And like in China, I came from South Africa where I was working as a salesperson for $350 a month. Yeah. Like my rent was like $250, and then I had like $100 for food. So like at the end of the month, I would go to bed hungry. It was a common occurrence. Like last 3 days of the month, I would do a fast. I would tell myself, I'm fasting, and I'm not. I'm not going hungry. I'm just fasting, and it worked. Like it helped actually for my physique. It did work, and like I remember that year so fondly. It was a wonderful year of my life. I had so much fun. I met the best friends of my life. I realized what relationships should be to me. I discovered a part of myself that I didn't know I had. Like so much life experience learned in that, earning $350 a month, barely getting by, literally barely getting by. Then I got a job opportunity in China where it went from earning $350 to earning like $2,000 a month, and having my apartment paid for, water, electricity paid for as well. So I had $2,000 to myself, where I had like $100 for food. I suddenly had $2,000 for food and whatever I wanted. So it was, 20x of what I was used to, and I was miserable. I'm like getting emotional thinking about it. Give me a sec, please. Because I felt so, disconnected. I convinced myself really well of the illusion of separation in China. And partly because, there's a language barrier. So where you usually have some sort of commonality with someone because you can actually communicate with them. You can tell them how you feel, you can ask them a question. There was suddenly this complete disconnect between myself and I felt like the outside world. And I feel that happens to a lot of us, right? It's a lie. I know it's a lie. There is no separation between us. But it's a good one. It's a convincing one. It can be. Oh, man. I love you, friends. Know that I appreciate this space and the love you send me so much. Know that I'm sending you so much love as well. Got it. So I just need to buy a lot of different things, and I'll be happy. Yeah, that's how it works, dude. Mm. Money slash opal is a needful and precious thing, and when well used, a noble thing. But I never want you to think it is the first or only prize to strive for. The greatest spiritual challenge is an attachment slash opal material things. Is the greatest spiritual challenge is an attachment slash opal to material things. Yeah, even the most. Your comment got cut off, my friend. I do agree. That's the point I'm trying to make as well, my friend. People equate the worth of their estate to the worth of their self, yeah. So they try to accumulate as much as possible to give themselves meaning, yeah, and value. We want to be valued, but you are. You are infinitely valued because here you are, my friend. If you weren't infinitely valuable, you wouldn't be here. uh, Money is gross. Yeah, money in itself isn't gross. It's the deification of money that's gross. Money is a unit of measurement of exchange. That's all it should be. But it should be in a way like universal basic income, for example. You know, that's that's basically a very good way to create for everyone a base. They can afford housing, they can afford food, and then they can create. And it's possible. We know it's possible. It's very easy. It's very, very easy. It just needs to be done. You know nothing, Jon Snow. I know. I know nothing, my friend. I know. uh, I do know, however, that that butterfly that I see is beautiful, and that I get to appreciate, even the smallest of things. Edmund, I lived in Manhattan in a dorm for 2 years. Now I'm gonna be moving to Bushwick or Ridgewood. I don't know where the places is, but I hope that it's fantastic there. Dan, like I remember the stories you told me about the last time that you were in that commune, dude. I think that's the stories you told me. You know, those Those stories. I hope that it's better this time around, my friend. I gotta go. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you, my friend. It was great to see you, buddy. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will, my friend. I hope that you have a wonderful day as well. Our loved ones live through us. Can't buy that. You're very right. Worldly assumptions. In truth, when your family is starving and not happy, you need money. You go somewhere to get money to feed your family, which makes you happy. Yeah, I know, my friend. I do agree that is definitely a way of existing. But as I said as well, like we are at a point where, and this is what yesterday's conversation was about, abundance, in our world. We already have enough resources to create a life for everyone where they get to live, complete and healthy lives, where they have enough income to to pay for housing and pay for food, and then they get to, create as a divine being instead of enslaving themselves to a corporation instead. And we're already moving into like this robotic future as well, and it's quite literally going to get to the point where there's no job that a robot can't do better than a human. And when it gets to the point where it can do it better than a human, it's also going to do it exponentially faster than a human. And then, like, where do we fit into that picture? On the other hand, it is not the same for a robot to be able to create as a human creates. And that is where I believe our divinity lies, to be creators, be it with our voices and speech, be it in an art form, be it in our career, be it in whatever. We can create experience for one another, and that as a creative pursuit, and that as like the encouragement for humanity, I feel can push us forward so much more than this pursuit to feed our families ever would be able to. Man, I feel this. I'm happy that you're vibrating with me, melting with me, Aaron, in the same wavelength, dude. Money doesn't equal food. Yeah, like you can without a lot of money. Like you can work, a day job, and like get enough money to buy enough seed to grow for yourself a crop of food as well. Sure, it isn't going to be instant harvest, but then you can do the same thing to sustain yourself until you can actually grow enough food, store food. We used to do it that way. That is how humans used to live, and it worked. We didn't have money back then, and we still, fed our people. We still kept our families alive without any money, my friend. Money is a new idea, and it's one we've deified, and that's the problem. We're not saying money is bad in itself. We're just talking about the gamification of the humanity for this thing that we call money. Lately I've been feeling like what's real in my life is painful, but it's so much better to be with what is really real than escape into fantasy or hide from reality. Connection versus disconnection. Exactly, Aaron. Like it's the giving yourself to the experience instead of retracting away from the experience, because we are very prone, to retract from painful experiences, from vulnerability, from all of these things because it's painful. But by giving ourselves to them, by being there for them, that is how we're supposed to be, connecting to them, experiencing them. You can get happiness from money, but money isn't the only way to be happy, nor is it the guarantee that money begets happiness, exactly. Money creates maybe more freedom, if anything, creates it creates freedom quite literally. It gives you a space in which you can go and spend this money, be it to move your physical body to another place, be it to experience what it feels like to drive a fast car. Whatever it is you want to experience, money can give you freedom to do those things. But if you are miserable because you don't get to experience these things, but are miserable when you have wonderful things to experience in your current waking life as well, those things in themselves aren't going to bring you this happiness that you seek. Money equals imaginary human equivalent. of food exchange. Can be manipulated and stolen, and at the drop of the global catastrophic event, worthless. Yeah, it's kind of terrifying. It's kind of terrifying because we have these, big banks, and they just kind of expect us to trust them, and that's how we do it. Hey, Jovan, thank you for joining us here, my friend. We're uh, talking about currency and it bringing happiness or not. It's not really a topic I particularly enjoy talking about, but it is something that is necessary to be talked about. Again, not shying away from giving ourselves to these experiences. How about a trade for trade? You can trade your skill for your neighbor's hunting skills, and you have food. Money isn't always a necessity. Exactly, Jovan. Like the ideal thing to do, at least in my opinion, is to reach a point where we. Hello, Eva. She's just curious. To reach a point where we, can sustain our society, take care of them. And, with the rise of robotic food growing, vertical robotic food growing, we're going to reach a point where we can produce food for basically the cost of electricity and water. Well, pumping the water is also electricity, so yeah, for the cost of electricity. And maybe fertilizers. But we can mine the fertilizers of electricity. I'm stopping. um, wow, that resonated with me, Aaron. I've been kind of feeling the same lately, almost creating an alternate reality for myself to avoid the crap aspects of my life. I've been aware of it though, and I'm working to accept the realities of things as they are right now, and that I can't change my reality. I feel that as well, Edmund, and I want to actually have like a phone call with you soon, my friend, because like I've been thinking about you, and you know why. You know why. In time, Jon Snow from Wish. Just kidding. It's funny, dude. uh, money creates financial freedom, but there is more than one way to be free. Exactly. You could work for like 3 years, buy yourself a van, and just go and travel America. If you spend your 3 years being extremely conservative and like living as bare as possible to save as much money as possible, you could give yourself what real freedom would feel like, at least in my opinion, in that way. Money equals power. Power over what, my friend? Hmm. Power over what? Like, if you tell me right now, I have $10 billion in my bank account, you're not going to have any more power than any one of these friends in here for me. You're still going to be someone that I love equally, someone that I appreciate for being in this world. Your money isn't what defines you. Like, if you die, what is your money going to mean? Yes, Jovan, our currency should be actually valuable things in every individual rather than their wealth. There's just, yeah, there's so much to it. Yes, it does. Money equals power, and that brings everything. You do realize some people had a lot of power before money was a thing as well, right? Yeah. Money is power in this world because it like empowers you quite literally to buy physical things on this planet, right? But what you think of as power and what I think of as power are vastly different in scale. What I think true power is being able to make universes, you know. That's power. Not to buy myself a motorcycle or a tank, you know, or a nuke. Like these things on the scale of the universe, so small. Money isn't power, not real power, at least in my opinion. mm, uh, I miss closeness of community so much. Loneliness in this world, yeah, it's so prevalent as well, my friend. It's something we all face, and it's an illusion because we're not separate. Like if you quite literally realize we're all experiencing the same eye, and that eye is the one that makes itself feel alone. But if you just look around yourself, you'll quite literally realize that there is life everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. The very air that you're breathing is filling yourself with life right now in this moment. We're surrounded by other living beings, and it's wonderful. We're not alone. We're not separate. We're so interconnected and close, and it's wonderful. um, that is totally false and non-power does not bring everything. Power is all an illusion to a universe where we are powerless. There we go. Exactly, Dan. You basically said exactly what I said as well, and I feel in a more eloquent way. Thank you, man. Come join our Discord world. Yeah, please do. Only when power is abused, Poopsie. That's true as well. Okie dokie. What is it? You can check it out on the u/profile. If you click on this little double M Meltmore button, and you can check it out on the r/Meltmore subreddit as well. Both of them are there. And Toasty sent you a link as well, my friend. Not sure what you mean, but I do not believe that power brings everything. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. Let me ask you something. When you went to different realms, did you notice a difference from Asgard and the rest? Uh, no comment. The dimensions don't like to be talked about in comparison to one another. Oh, that one bit. Excuse me, friends. Woo! I mentioned it yesterday. Social status is often defined by job title. But how is a five-star chef any more productive in society than a McDonald's cook? Yeah, or a gardener without a job. Social constructs don't define us. Exactly, Jovan. Exactly. You're like so right. And that's exactly why I also choose not to actively like ask people, oh, what is it you do? I'll either never ask you it, or I'll only ask you if you're mentioning something about what it is you're doing, or something like that. If it's something you want to share with me first, then I'll happily listen to it. But I agree as well with you, Javan. You're not defined by what it is you choose to do, what it is your job is. Hmm, man, my throat low key stings a little bit. I'm gonna stop smoking, at least for the stream. Whew. Yes, we need to make phone call happen soon, my friend. I'm looking forward to it, my friend. I think me and Dan have a phone call today, don't we, Dan? Are you still here, my friend? Yeah, I think you asked for six today, right? Mm, mm, mm. Power equals problems. Yeah, power isn't something that you really gain from either. It just puts you in a place where you have even more to consider. So, more restlessness, if you will. Mm-mm. Uh, impossible night equals impossible right. Oh, I get it. Right, Javan. A title is nothing but words. They don't put anyone above anyone else, as we are all equal. Exactly, Edmund. Like exactly, my friend. Katlachter. We are all equals. We are human beings. We are divine creators, and we get to communicate with one another. And I believe that's our preferred way of creating with one another, because and this is something me and my friends considered. Like, we were having a conversation on the grass and talking about polar bears and all of these other type of animals being in these anime type of JoJo type animation style and fighting each other, and the lions would be like super ripped, and the polar bears would like take off their jackets and be like super stacked, and the deer and all of the like type of antler uh, animals would be like ultra fast because of their leg muscles. And we had this conversation, spitballing what we would like to see in something like that, and just having a conversation about that. And we like talked about how cool it is that we can imagine and co-create an experience like that, an imagination of something that is quite literally possible. But for us to actually sit down and physically draw it out would take so much time. We can have quite visual and literal imagery of these fighting scenes, and what these characters would look like, and what voices we could give them, right? We can visualize that in a conversation, but to actually sit down and draw each one of those scenes, do the voice acting, plan out a narrative, like that is so much more direct work. So in communication, we can maybe fleetingly create whole pieces of information, content, of art, if you will. And maybe it's more fleeting, but maybe that's why we like it as well. Dum, dum, dum. Bro, uh, you have 10 billion, mate, explains why you have time to talk about things. If you have 10 billion, explains why you have to talk about things. Not just yet, my friend. I don't want to have 10 billion ever. If I get to that point, I'm not spending enough on the planet. Not nearly enough. I can tell you money doesn't bring you power, because the richest men on the planet are powerless. Yeah, sitting in $800 million yachts, doing lines of coke, hoping Twitter doesn't see it. Yeah, what power? Exactly, my friend. Sorry, I'm rattled. Be rattled, Toasty. Shake the cage a little bit, dude. I feel it, man. I feel it 100%. Like, there's no power, dude. And, like, both of these most, powerful, rich men in the world are having divorces. Elon Musk, even himself, has had divorces. All the money in the world won't, make your life suddenly, infinitely happy. Because if they were infinitely happy, they would be staying together with one another as well. Money doesn't buy happiness. Money doesn't buy power. We're all just human beings on this planet, Grasping at things that we're being told is going to give us power. When true power lies within, just being aware of your experience and taking that away, taking like your experience away from this life, instead of taking how much physical little freaking gold coins and estates and cars you could collect before you die. That's not what's going to bring you happiness. Oh, I'm getting cold, getting rattled as well, Toasty. Yeah, I'm down for a chat. Oh yeah, Dan, I'm looking forward to it. Feeling those feels, bruh. Say, hey Elon, how about solving poverty? Nah, well, just shoot cars into space. That's fine. If I had a fraction of their money, you better believe I would be a fucking superhero. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true, Toasty. We're getting there, my friend. One step at a time, dude. Could we chat at 6:30 actually, Melt? Yeah, sure, dude. Definitely. You and me both, Toasty. There we go. The way laws work, a baseline fine slash fee is just a way to keep the less fortunate less fortunate. A 1,000 bail fine for having a weed grinder. Meanwhile, the rich can just pay off their broken laws without a winch. So yeah, it's the whole eat the rich type of mentality. It's It's something that is very easily very infuriating, right? Because at what point do you are you just being greedy, and at what point are you trying to utilize your wealth for the good of humanity? And so, Toasty, I do want to say this about Elon, right? I don't mean to be a fanboy, but in the amount of like good Elon is trying to do for our planet with the electrification of vehicles, even if he is doing it as a business, he has to do it as a business. Like those businesses almost failed. He was bankrupt at one point. And he is trying to realize an electrification of the future so that we aren't, pumping gas constantly to fuel our cars and our boats. And so, like, that in itself, like, yo, dude, you gotta give the guy props for that. Also, making, solar arrays with big battery banks, accessible to countries. Gotta give him props for that as well, dude. Like, I mean, he is trying to do some good. I mean, he definitely has a lot of wealth. I believe a lot of his wealth is in the, companies. So, not really fluid cash, if you will. But on the scale, like comparatively, how much has Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos done on a, ecological scale for our planet comparatively to what Elon is trying to do? Just my 5 cents on that point because I do feel like expressing. Not to mention, Jovan, it is way to make money off of the poor. Absolutely, that I do absolutely not agree with. Or a $50,000 bill, yeah, to have a child, dude, and then or to like just pay what $10,000 to use an ambulance to get to the hospital, like that. That is absolutely atrocious. That should not be a thing. I can't believe that we're treating humans that way. Like a weed grinder. It's absolutely unacceptable, Dan. Yes, in the real world, Jabot, no happiness there, explains reality from the fake. You see the thing, my friend, you're saying real world. Like you think a city, and people prosecuting you for having a weed grinder is the real world. The real world is out there, dude. In the field, in the middle of the mountains. That's the real world. We tell ourselves what the real world is and what is expected of us, and then we conform, dude. It's not us. It's not what we want. The cost of even getting sick and going to the doctor, unacceptable. It is, Edmund. Like, how can you profit off of people's health? It's not the real world, and none. Yeah, it's a facade we've built around ourselves to distract from the reality. Exactly that. I'm happy that me and you are like on the same wavelength on this today, dude. Yeah, when you get sick in the country that doesn't support you, that's a death sentence. It is. Bill Gates has done a ton. He has done a lot. I know, like, but I'm talking about on ecological scale, my friend. Comparatively, what Elon is doing right now is literally going to turn a 100-year problem of us using fossil fuels into like a next 30-year, maybe 40-year problem. Uh, I'm not trying to just bash on Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. I don't know everything that they've done. Obviously, we can't. But I'm just talking about on an ecological scale. Saving our planet scale, actually saving our planet scale. He has bought farmland from farmers that are losing it. Gave it back to them so they can keep farming. Okay, that's amazing. I love that actually, Gauze. I love that. Yeah, 800 million and sitting on a yacht. Line, keep forcing people. There's a reality. Yeah, it is, my friends. It is. Like, we're not pretending that these things don't exist, right? That's not what we're doing. We are aware of these things. What we're doing is we're choosing to live in a way where we can even be forgiving of those people. And I know it's not easy. It's not something we always want to do, but we can do it. We can. We can forgive those people and even live in love of them. Because when we live in judgment and when we live of fear, of the future, what the future is going to hold financially, we just hurt ourselves in that process. We almost stunt ourselves to appreciate what we have, regardless of how many coins we have in our bank accounts. And that's what I want to end the stream on, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me on the stream. I love you. I appreciate you being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.